style about it. Seeing as our contract is coming to an end, Commander, let me just say that you are the most impressive client I've ever had the pleasure to work with. And a highly lucrative pleasure it's been, too. Of course not. Where else would I have had so many adventures? Besides, it's thanks to you that I've been able to add so many accomplishments to my service record, which will boost my rates in the future. Huh. Well, it sure wasn't in the name of Iomade. Of course, money's not the be-all and end-all. You dimwits need someone with a clear head on your side, someone to watch your back. I know how you hero types love sacrificing yourselves at the drop of a hat. It's strong stuff from Garand. What do you think? We all have different tastes. I like to slowly kill myself in this manner, whereas you prefer a more extravagant method. Now you're talking. Why don't you show me who it is we need to kill to win this war? Aurilu Vorlesh? I'll wish that lady sweet dreams with unalloyed pleasure.
Chief, is there any chance, even a tiny one, that we can just, call this whole thing off now and go home? Before, I would have just made a run for it, but I can't do that now. Something is holding me back, and I really don't like the thought of leaving you high and dry. If you want to send me to the front line, I ain't going, so don't even try that hero stuff on me. I'm gonna fight because I don't want to die. And because we're kind of friends now. And don't... likewise. Well, that reminds me. The Tieflings merchandise is still...
Last battle. We win or we die. Either way, I'm going home. My chance. I've thought a lot about this. No, I can't rest you to battle.
There it is. The Citadel, the Demon Army. You know, I expected it to be formidable and fearsome. Something that would make me quake in terror. But now that I am standing at its gates, I'm surprised at how little fear I feel. Do not mistake this for bravado. Our enemies are dangerous, but no more than that. We have traveled to the heart of the Abyss, and back again. Now we are home, on our own territory. This time, let it be the invaders who quake in terror. When I set out for war, I imagined that I would find Trevor, and together we would fight the demons, shoulder to shoulder. Fate has a caustic sense of humor. My dream came true, but not at all as I imagined. The reality of war shattered many of my romantic notions. I will go home to Endoran. I will lay down my weapon and never pick up another so long as I live. Save a knife for cutting grapevines. I will serve the goddess in our old temple. I had to. If I had a choice, I probably would have stayed the same naive little boy I was before the war. Ready. Let us drive the demons all the way back to the Abyss!
So, this is where it all ends. When I first crossed paths with you in Needham, of course! I'll find our years of exile have
This is my time to shine.
You know what's crazy? I never thought this moment would come so soon. It feels like only yesterday we were trying to bring a blazing Canabras under control, and now we're standing on the cusp of our last battle. Threshold. You help me believe in the future, and I'll be going into battle knowing for sure that there's a future waiting for us. So, dying, I'll always be with you, no matter what happens. We have to end the wound once and for all. If I go down, keep going, and don't look back. If you go down, I will finish what you started. I love you, Commander.
I am calculating the likelihood of your victory. Taking into consideration the fortifications of Threshold, the long period it has been under demon control, and Aurilu Vorlesh, who is personally overseeing the defense, I would give the Crusaders a 30% chance of success at most. Of course, the presence of an illustrious scholar of Galarion in your ranks, meaning me, immediately increases your chances by 5%. Fear is an unproductive emotion that typically gets in the way of a good experiment. And I have never indicated that I do not support my loyal follower in her battle against the demons. I simply calculated your chances of success. If you win, I'll make sure to mention you in my encyclopedia. Aha! With that as an incentive, your chances have increased by 5%. Consider this my contribution to your victory.
At last, this irksome crusade is drawing to a close. All right. It hasn't been that irksome. The most important outcome of today, of course, will be that I shall be immortalized in works of art depicting the Fifth Crusade. Oh, that's what you think, is it? Allow me to remedy that. See? I can be quite demonstrative when I wish. You know, whatever comes next, No, my darling, I am not afraid. I have seen you emerge unscathed from every calamity and snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. And to the victory feast?
This is it. The last fortress. It's been a long road from the river city to here. We walked and walked and walked along the road. And suddenly, there's no more road. Nobody is ready. It will be scary. Very scary. In the last fortress, all the lies will end, and the truth will rise. It's scary, but it's good. Nobody knows what will happen next. People are afraid of the future, so that's why they make it up. They lie to themselves so it's not so scary. They convince themselves and others of the things they make up. The Redeemed Knights say they need me. I think they can manage fine without me, but maybe I really can help them somehow. I think we'll do a lot of good together. Hear that, Soot? It's time.
There it is. The heart of the wound. The source of all the evil that has been wrought here over the last 100 years. It all began here. And we will end it here. If Aurilu Vorlesh had never opened the world wound, I would never have ended up on Galarion. I would never have met Desna. Or you. I would never have embarked on the path of good. This invasion has killed so many innocent people, but it has also led to my redemption. It means my freedom has been bought with thousands of innocent lives. But I will do everything in my power to help you close this abomination, so that no one else has to die. I did not do it alone. You have led your army to victory, and me to my dream. It's not about guilt. It's just that I am ashamed to take any joy in my freedom, knowing that this terrible war was the cause of it. Everyone would have been better off if the world wound had never been opened. But then I would have remained a monster. Perhaps one day I will atone for all the evil I did. But it took a far greater evil to make my redemption even possible. I now have a dream of my own. I will pursue it. I am ready. Let the abyss tremble in fear.
Hey! Well, are we gonna stick it to the demons one last time? I don't know yet. I'll probably go back to being a knight errant, going wherever the road takes me, helping folk where I can. But let's win first, and we can talk about that later. Back at you, friend. So, are we going to crush some demons? It's time to show them the door once and for all!
How cute!
Friendship lasts forever. Hey, have a look. With grace. Wonder.
Missed me already.
This war must end.
Please allow me. I feel more alive than ever.
No time for idling.
Oh, the waiting's never fun.
A simple smile goes a long way.
crusade!
This is my time to shine. How cute! So exciting!
Can't be dismissed as a calculation error. You knew failure was a possibility. Then why? Why? Yes, it's decided. I will tell you the truth before we fight to the death. Would you like to know why I upended your life? This place is my demi-plane. I created it when I was a prisoner in Threshold. I would slip away to conduct my rituals here in secret. This is where I decided to create what mortals would later call the World Wound. This is where I made all my preparations. Do you understand? Escaping was never my goal. I could have easily disappeared from Threshold. I could have passed through it like water through sand. Some believe that I brought Sarkoris to ruin out of revenge, and I suppose there is some truth to that. I did have reason for revenge. You've been to this secret part of my laboratory and know what I'm talking about. Or at least you have an inkling. My laboratory. The old house in the middle of nowhere that marked the entrance to my lab. It was the home of Arilu Vorlesh when I was still a mere mortal. I lived there with my daughter away from the din of the crowd and sheltered from the keen gaze of the Sarkorian witch hunters. It was a place where the reality of our world was in close proximity to the abyss. A place where I could study the magic forbidden to all Sarkorians. I thought I had hidden my home well, but I was wrong. They found it. They found us. At that hour, I was there, in the laboratory. That damned laboratory I loved so much. I was absorbed in one of my experiments when the hunters arrived on our doorstep. I was sitting at my desk, recording my observations, thoughts, and calculations, as was my habit. That's when I heard the noise outside. The fight was brief. It barely lasted a moment. By the time I sensed that something was amiss and hurried out to see what was happening, it was too late. All I could do was cradle the body of my dead child and cry after their departing soul. I promise. Because they saw her with a scroll she had secretly borrowed from my supply. She was trying to perform a forbidden ritual. Children, they're always drawn to the unknown. But for the Threshold hunters, This child playing with a magical trinket she stole from an adult was just as much of a criminal as the worst demon worshippers. I am not concerned with whether it was justified or not, or with the application of morality, the law, or the teachings of any god. Look around you. This demi-plane. The first time I escaped from my cell and ran here, I was trying to resurrect my daughter. I tried many things, but all my efforts were in vain. The soul had already received Pharasma's judgment, and had been sent on the path determined by the gods, into the abyss. And when I realized that, I rebelled. But not against my jailers, not against those who had murdered my child, not even against Sarkoris. My uprising was against destiny, death, and the laws that the gods had forced upon our lives. I realized then that I wouldn't be satisfied with simply returning my daughter to life. I had to shatter this order once and for all, and make it so that neither Pharasma and her lackeys, nor death itself, could ever stand between us. Only by stepping beyond the bounds of what had been ordained for mortal kind, by obtaining powers that rivaled the divine, could we become free. And with this newfound purpose, I turned myself into a half-demon. Fusing the spiritual essence of the two planes was the only way I could achieve my goal. I let the abyss into my soul, and into this world. I opened the world wound. I danced around 3 demon lords, making them assist me without ever revealing my true intentions. They just believed they were dealing with another power-hungry mortal. But in reality, I was after one thing. I wanted to find what was left of my daughter's soul and give her a new birth. One that would prevent anything from ever harming her again. And then I found you. I chose you because I felt a faint affinity to you. I thought your soul could accept the remains of my daughter's soul, like the soil accepts a seed. I thought that I could bring back my child by tethering the mangled remnants of her soul to a pure mortal soul untouched by the abyss. I thought the power of the Nahindrian crystals would allow me to protect her forever. That I could tear her away from the dominion of mortal nature. But I was mistaken in both assumptions. Now I'm about to face the consequences of my mistake. You will witness them as well.
I've been waiting for this.
With grace.
falter. Not anymore.
You should not have come here. I, Arilu Vorlesh, the one you call the Betrayer, have nothing to offer you but death. Karamzadeh, I will give you the chance to avenge your death. Rise.
Curse you, mortal scum! You have struck ice into my heart. I will devour your souls to loosen its freezing grip.
Do not fear! Do not waver!
Adventures are exciting. Is there trouble?
The mortal who ventured recklessly into the abyss has now reached threshold. In Iz, you struck down my creator and master Daskari. But if that makes you dismissive of his echo, if you think I do not pose a threat, then you are greatly mistaken. I was hunting the hand of the inheritor in the abyss, not you. And what a good hunt it was. But now things are different. Now you are the prey I covet more than anything else. Master is in the abyss, in his realm. No, he does not wish to meet with you yet. A demon lord cannot afford 2 deaths in succession. It will kill them permanently. No, I'm not afraid of your threats. He lost to you. He lost. The great Daskari himself lost to a mortal. So what happens if I succeed where the great lord failed?
If an echo destroys the one it's origin...
After all,
This is my time to shine. So exciting!
This is where it happened. It was here that I conducted the ritual, sewing my soul and the essence of the abyss together, feeling the world change around me as every stitch brought Galarian closer to the abyss. And it was here that even though you have no memory of it, I did the same to your soul. A researcher must not have any personal feelings for the subjects of their experiments. And yet, I find myself unable to remain completely detached from the world wound. I created it. I allowed it to be. It holds a place in my heart, even if I'm slowly paying for it with my life. A researcher must be particularly resilient in the face of mistakes, incorrect hypotheses, and failed experiments. You are my failed experiment. I think I'll feel some regret for ending your current life, but you can rest assured that such sentiments will not stop me. You're so adept at magic. Of course, I've been preparing for our meeting. And hopefully I've prepared well. Yes. And no. Even if I could have brought back my daughter, I wouldn't have stopped at that. I wouldn't have been satisfied. Not after what I'd gone through. Not after the things I'd learned. I wanted to become stronger. And I wished the same for my child. I didn't want to be afraid of anything. It wasn't the dogs of Threshold or even Sarkoris itself that threatened us. It was the laws of a world governed by death, weakness, and separation. That is why I needed the power of the Nihindrian crystals. I did not merely wish to stave off the agony of the wound. I wanted to tear my daughter from the grasp of everything that makes us weak and mortal. You have seen a goddess. You have been face to face with demon lords. Were you awed by their greatness? Do you enjoy living in a world where your entire life cycle has been predetermined? Where everything, from your birth to what will happen to your soul after you die, has been decided for you? Or do you find, now that you have experienced the mythic power coursing through your blood, that you prefer to live in a world that you can change? A world that offers you a chance to be anything you want? How strange. You are a kindred spirit. We are so alike. Perhaps the experiment wasn't such a failure in the end. But no. No. When I poured what was left of my daughter's soul into your soul, I was expecting it to bring her back. They say death and the judgment of Pharasma purges the soul of everything it once was in life. But this cannot be true. I have researched this subject meticulously and have collected enough evidence to prove that supernatural beings born from mortal souls can recall their past. Sometimes partially, sometimes fully. I watched you day and night, waiting for it to happen. For your memory to awaken, or your instincts at least. For anything familiar, something I could immediately recognize. I tested you. I asked you questions and... nothing. Nothing. If a hypothesis is proven wrong, it needs to be rejected. But the research process does not stop there. That is all I can tell you right now. It will kill me eventually, but I still have some time left. Years, or decades perhaps. But it doesn't matter. One of us will die today. The tearing of the soul, followed by a cruel and terrible death. But it will likely be quick. And it's finally time to end all this. What are you talking about? I don't feel despair. And this fight is necessary. So much depends on its outcome. Death is not the end. I've spent 100 years trying to prove it, and I will not stop now. This experiment was unsuccessful, but that just means I need to adjust the initial conditions and try again. I am still alive. I still have time. You, the current you, will have to die. But only to surrender the soul you share with my daughter. I will start over. This time I will do everything differently. I will work with even greater precision. I will turn the world upside down if I must. I promise. I never thought that I would be responsible for the creation of my most powerful enemy.
I've been waiting for you to get distracted, so I can stab you in the back!
No, we couldn't. Your draconic grandeur may be impressive, but you have nothing that I want. I would be overjoyed to discover that I am wrong. I tried to hope, even though there was no hope left. But wait, why do you care? Why are you trying to change my mind? That thirst for truth and knowledge that is so familiar. But What makes you think I will listen to your arguments? I have gone too far to turn back. I must walk the path I have chosen.
Says you.
You think I'm wrong about you? Why? We are not talking about numbers, equations, and magical reactions. This is about the soul. About whether or not you have what I lost. Yes, I was disguised as Yaniel. This was our first conversation, face to face. I was desperate. I needed to know who you were, to understand what you were. I wanted to find out if there was anything about you I recognized. You hungered for knowledge. You desired the truth more than anything else. Yes. I wanted to see if something would stir within you when you met my daughter's murderer, and when you encountered the one who betrayed me. But it doesn't matter. I asked you questions, you answered them, and I thought I could hear the echoes of the past in your voice. Yes, I remember. I wanted to check, to see for certain if it would awaken your instincts. I was so full of hope that day. You did not merely accept the power that was given to you. You mastered it. You passed every trial. I am so proud of you. It's true. That's enough. I can see now. It was naive of me to think I could just revive my daughter the way she was before her death. But there is so much of her in you. So much of me. I can't think of you as anything but my child. I have wandered in the dark for so long. But now I finally see clearly. I know how my path must end. The wound still erodes your soul, as it does mine. Let me put an end to my creation. Let me step into the flames and perish, so that I can heal you. All these years, I've been playing a game with mortals and forces beyond mortal comprehension. But now I am a pawn in your game. I do not know your next move. I can't even imagine what plan you have in mind. So explain it to me. One step at a time. I see I was right to leave the lexicon in a place where you could find it. Yes, that is correct. We've reached the limits of our power. I did so long ago, and you've realized your full potential only recently. Mythic power cannot be made any stronger. At least, I have not been able to do so successfully. That means we are now living on borrowed time, counting down the days until we die from the wound's influence. No, I have not. I haven't had the chance. It was in Canobris that I had my first chance to test the improved version of the Midnight Bolts against the Demon Lord Discari. The crystal dagger you found in Canobris was the first Nahindrian crystal that was procured in such a fashion. I gather that you know more about them than I do. Yes, I am sure that is the case. I have evidence from my experiments. The wound affects the material plane, poisoning it with the corruption of the Abyss. But it also affects the Abyss, bringing in a small amount of order and harmony from the material plane. The only reason it is not as apparent in the Abyss is the presence of the Demon Lords. They hold near infinite power over their realms, and their existence staves off the wound's influence. Yes, indeed. The Sword of Valor was Iomede's banner before she passed the test of the Starstone and ascended to heaven. I've never studied the Sword of Valor. Perhaps I should have. It is a truly fascinating artifact, and the way it interacts with you is incredible. Could it have picked up the early signs of your nascent divinity? I do not know. It's unpredictable and dangerous, but all bold plans carry risk. What you propose might work. Whoever absorbs the power of a newly killed demon lord will inherit their realm in the abyss. If we throw in a connection to the wound, we will end up with something unique. You will have the power of a demigod and an abyssal realm that changes at your whim. Yes, your plan might work. I see no reason we shouldn't at least try. But how? There are only 3 demon lords whose realms are tied to the wound: Baphomet, Discari, and Nocticula. I doubt we'd be able to carry out a cunning murder of the Lady of Cunning and Murder. As for Baphomet and Discari, after the lessons you've taught them, they will never risk another engagement. They'll engage in clever maneuvers. They'll hide, but they won't face you in battle. Sadly, there is only one way to escape death, and it is the path I have already mentioned. There is no need to discuss it further. Let me finish what I started.
Mortal who ventured. I was just another mortal who thinks she can be something more than food. He lost to you.
This is where a researcher you're so adept at the you have seen a goddess. How strange. When I walk, if a it will kill the tearing of, and it's finally what up that I.
Bait.
I never thought that I would be responsible for the
I've been white.
No, we couldn't. Your draconic... I would be... Oh, that... But what makes you... You think I'm... Yes, you hung... Yes, you did... That's enough. I have wandered in the dark.
This is where I shine.
All these years, I see I was right. No, I have not. Yes, I am sure that is the... Yes, indeed. It's unpredictable and... Yes, your plan might work. I see no reason we shouldn't at least try. But how? There are only 3 demon lords whose realms are tied to the wound. Baphomet, Discari, and they are bound to appear? I didn't know that. No wonder demon lords are so careful about choosing archpriests. Correct. And the Locust Lord still hasn't deprived me of his favor. He should have done that a long, long time ago. Yes, it is true. Baphomet outsmarted himself when he granted me power and patronage behind Discari's back. And I could summon them. No, it's still too much of a risk. The world wound is more than a rift. It has a life of its own. To accomplish the plan you have conceived, we would need to channel an immense current of power through it, all the way to the realms of the demon lords. It would be 100 times more difficult than simply closing the wound. It's remarkable that the worshippers of Kulura were able to discern this. Yes, you are correct. Such days do exist, but they occur very rarely. Only once or twice a century at most. I can't run the full calculations right now, but I think you're right. This is the day when the wound is most malleable. We could shape it as easily as a master potter molds soft clay. I have one final question for you. Do you have a new Nahindrian crystal in your possession? Without one, this whole plan is doomed. Unless, of course, you happen to have a midnight bolt. If so, we can procure a crystal right now. They are Nocticula's weapon of choice. She infused the bolts with a small amount of her power, making them deadly to the Abyssal Lords. I've changed their properties so that if a demon lord is hit with a bolt, their blood and life force will form a new Nahindrian crystal. Prior to my alterations, the crystals would only form inside the bodies of the demon lords that were slain in the Abyss. A process that took centuries. Then let us begin. I do love interesting challenges. Discari, Lord of the Locust Host, Aurilu Borlesh calls to you, as I once called before from within these very walls. I am the first of your servants, and I summon you. Come, Baphomet, Lord of Beasts and Labyrinths. Heed the voice of Aurilu the Witch. You accepted me into the ranks of your servants, and I summon you now as the first among them. Come! 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 Come!
How curious. The Gnats have decided to set a trap for me. You have spun out your betrayal like an intricate web, but it will take more than that to bring down the hunger of the Abyss.
First, my daughter failed me. And now my chosen mortal favorite does the same. Aurilu, do you not see that this alliance with your mortal creation will give you nothing? You could have served the greatest of masters, yet you chose to be the puppet of your own creation.
Enough, Baphomet! You are wasting your time on words when the time for words has long passed. We shall fight those who have challenged us and obliterate them. Daskari has spoken. You are correct. I am a threat. And once I'm finished with you, my scythe will sweep across your world, starting with the allies you've brought here.
You believe yourselves to be our masters. You think you will be our doom. But you've never been anything more than a source of power. We will drain this source to the last drop. It is done. The road to greatness lies ahead. All that remains is for you to use a crystal. I can only guess. The regular crystals allowed you to impart some of your power to your followers, those whose souls were closely tied to yours. It is likely that an improved crystal would let you endow your companions with a small amount of the demigod-like power you are about to receive. The wound will eventually destroy my soul. I will never be truly healed. But I have no regrets. I achieved everything I wanted and more. Ascend together? And live without fear of gods or demons, exploring the infinite world. You truly want this. I can't believe it. But I will grant you your wish. And what of me, the writer of these words? The half-demon witch known as the architect of the world wound. I gained more than I could have hoped. I achieved my purpose. I vanquished death. Untold might and all eternity lie ahead. How should I spend that eternity? I have not yet decided. But I know, from experience, I know that every moment is priceless if it is spent with the one who matters most to you. I have recounted the story of my life for you, Pharasma, Lady of Graves. Not only of my life, but of the Commander's also. I believe the tale of such an illustrious figure would pique even a goddess's curiosity. I have come here to say that she and I are no longer in your power. This is the last, most significant result of my transformation experiment.
She is no longer within my power. This is true. Divinity has given her the right to decide her own fate. But you entered my boneyard to bring me these tidings. And it is within my power to unmake you, destroy you, and erase you from the cosmos. I wonder, did she anticipate such an outcome? Did she purposefully choose you to be her emissary?
I have relayed my message. Farewell, Lady of Graves. We will not meet again.
Their combined power has grown immensely, enough to almost rival my own. So be it.